temperature.
Profusely sweating.
All of a sudden you're making gravy, swimming in it like you wouldn't believe. Hey, very happy birthday to Jacob's son, Hunter. He turned 16 today. Jacob is it Tennessee? It is, right, Jacob? I say this like you can respond to me. You can tweet me. Very happy birthday to Jacob's son, Hunter. It's his 16th birthday. They both listen to the show together now that Jacob's on summer vacation. He just got his driver's license. That's where it all starts to go rapidly downhill. As soon as a kid gets their driver's license and they have the independence to leave the house and go places and do stuff without having to employ public transportation, their feet or a bike, that's where those are some interesting, informative steps out into the world. So happy birthday, Hunter, and good job on raising such a fine young man. Jacob, hope you guys are having an awesome day, and drive carefully. If you're driving, don't drink, and if you drink, don't drive. Of course, you're 16, so you shouldn't even know what alcohol is at this stage in the game, but I'm just saying, if you drink and drive, I will personally fly to wherever the hell you are and kick you directly in the ass repeatedly until you cry and promise never to do it again. Probably not the best birthday wish ever, but a cautionary tale. Happy birthday, Hunter! Oh, Funkhauser, shall we do some news?
All right. I guess we could squeeze a couple in there. The dwarf couple from Little People Big World filed for divorce.
Yeah. You ever do you care about celebrity divorces? Koncept? You're married. You have a lot invested in a life with another person together, and I don't care who you are. People have their ups and downs, and stuff isn't always easy. And when you see people get divorced, it's a little sad, especially when it's one of those couples that you're like, really, those guys? I thought they had it figured out. So the dwarf couple from Little People Big World filed for divorce. What do you make of that Koncept?
You know what? I will give full credit to hip hop. It single-handedly saved my third and fourth marriage. So,
wait, you've been married 3 and 4?
No, I lied.
Oh.
That's a big lie.
Oh, okay. Well, the dwarf couple from Little People Big World.
Yes.
They're getting divorced.
Man.
A divorce, one of the first divorces ever to be settled in small claims court.
You walk these streets most every day. You waiting to get washed away.
USA Headline News. I'm Kelly Sloan. The search for 2 escaped killers from the Clinton Correctional Facility in the state of New York continues for a 6th day. Governor Andrew Cuomo says investigators are checking out hundreds of leads.
The only way to pursue this type of investigation is to follow every lead that you have and follow every lead as if this is the one that's going to break the case.
Authorities in Vermont are also looking, and overnight a Philadelphia cab driver says he picked up 2 men matching the descriptions of Richard Matt and David Sweat and dropped them off at the Amtrak station. Meanwhile, a civilian employee of the prison, Joyce Mitchell, has been questioned, but her son told NBC News there's no way his mother would have helped prisoners escape.
She's not the kind of person that's going to risk her life or other people's lives to let these guys escape from prison.
But experts believe the 2 could not have escaped without help. This is USA Headline News.
Attention! Do you have federal student loans? Are you having difficulty making your standard payments? Are you afraid of having your wages and tax returns garnished? Let us help you today. Student Federal Loan Services can help consolidate your student loans into one affordable monthly payment and cut your payments right away. Federal student loan relief to qualified applicants no matter how much you owe. Call the Established Student Aid toll-free assistance line right now at 800-669-0290. Find out if you qualify for any of the government's income-based repayment programs and cut your monthly payments. You may even qualify for programs that can get you a monthly payment of $0. Thousands of people just like you have found relief from their federal student loans. Our trained counselors are waiting, so call today, 800-669-0290. Again, 800-669-0290.
Trending. In the NHL, Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final saw the Blackhawks beat the Lightning 2-1 to even up the series at 2 games apiece. Brandon Saad had the game-winning goal in the third period for Chicago, and goalie Corey Crawford had 24 saves. Captain of the Blackhawks, Jonathan Toews, who also had a goal in this game, talked about the confidence of his team going into Game 5 with the series tied at 2.
I think we're happy about the confidence coming out of this game, knowing that we're raising our game as the series goes along, and we're excited to rest and recover and get ready for the next one.
Game 5 will be Saturday in Tampa. Baseball games to note: Dodgers walk off with a 7-6 win over the Diamondbacks. The A's walked off with a 5-4 win over the Rangers. It was the White Sox beating the Astros 4-1. Houston, still leading the AL West, has lost 7 games in a row. The Royals top the Twins 7-2. Kansas City sweeps the series and moves 2 games up on Minnesota for first place in the AL Central. I'm Eddie Garcia.
We are One-Fourth.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1972.
In May, the Rolling Stones spend the year recording in southern France and released the double album Exile on Main Street. It goes to number 1 in both the U.S. and the U.K. California band the Doobie Brothers score a hit off their second album, Toulouse Street, with the single Listen to the Music. More from the summer of 72, Curtis Mayfield is back on the charts with a soundtrack for the film Superfly. The album yields 2 top 10 hits with Freddy's Dead and the title track. And former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent has a hit album and a number 5 single in the US and the UK with Hold Your Head Up.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up.
Harry Chapin's performance of the song Taxi on The Tonight Show 2 nights in a row leads to a hit. And struggling UK band Mott the Hoop will get help from fan David Bowie, who produces their album and writes them a hit, All the Young Dudes, which peaks at number 3 in the UK and in the top 40 in the States.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Mike Rutherford to discuss the benefits of working as a group as well as on solo projects.
The combination of the people and the bulk of our career really was, I suppose, the 3-band, myself and Phil and Tony. You're not tied, but you're 3 players, so you will work within those boundaries, whereas the solo stuff, you can go wherever you want to go, in a sense. What are the odds of, out of Genesis, you've got the Gabriel career, and then the Collins career, and then to get another one coming through the Mechanics? I mean, that's just so unlikely. I didn't expect it at all, but I did enjoy it. It was great.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Mike Rutherford and all your favorite artists.
Go ahead. Favorite the show and enjoy AD on the go. iHeartRadio presents AD.
Alrighty then, Funkhauser. Let's, well, first and foremost, I was listening to our special guest on the show today is Koncept 714, host of Wake the Flock Up, the #1 hip-hop podcast on the face of the freaking planet. And it really, really is a great listen. Whether or not you are listening to him interview sort of like a hip-hop legend or a big name, you could be listening to him interview Ari the Rugged Man or Raz Kaz or Wax or someone that you're familiar with if you're in that world. Or you could, one thing I love about Koncept 714 is, and I don't know if you do this in your normal life, and I suspect that you do, you have the ability to make the people you're talking to, I think, feel special and feel like they are respected as an artist. Whether it's someone who legitimately is an artist, someone like Wax, who's big all over the world, who has 80 million views on YouTube, who has sold albums, who can pack houses all over the country, all over the world. You can interview someone like him and highlight what's special about him. You can also talk to some kid that just put out his first mixtape a week ago and hold him in the same amount of regard. And I think one of the great things about Koncept 714's show is that he makes people around him feel good and respected and special. And that makes you, when you're listening to his podcast, whether you're familiar with the artist he's interviewing or not, it really draws you right in. You're immediately sucked into the story of the person that you're talking to. So give that a listen. Isn't that right, Koncept 714? You make everybody feel good at all times.
That's my goal. That's my goal. The way I approach it, which I really see a lot of people failing when they do their interviews, is they're not fans of the people they're interviewing to begin with. And since I have the luxury and the duty of booking, editing, mastering, doing everything that comes with the program. I get to choose the artist I want to sit with. And whether, again, like you say, you're a Razzcast and you've rocked for 10 years plus, platinum records, or you're Pex, where you just started off, you're just doing your thing, you're still a hip-hop artist, and I'm a fan of yours. I want to get to know what makes you tick. So in hip-hop, we all start with the same tools. We have words, we have music, we have beats, we have that. But how do you present your art differently? Like you were saying earlier, paint, right? So we all have paint. What makes you want to paint a bowl of fruit opposed to the Mona Lisa? Like what is happening here? Where does your genre of music come from? Where does your love for it? And I am honestly a fan of everyone I sit across from, and that really shows, I think, because I've watched interviews where this person is clearly not a fan of Tarantino. Or I mean, you're just like, why are you so violent in your? It's like, dude, like, where's the respect? You didn't earn those. You didn't earn those questions. You're demanding from him instead of like getting it out of him. You're trying to kind of pull it out instead of, okay, I'm so comfortable at this point that I am going to tell you my biggest insecurity. As per the 12 rounds or something like that.
Who's that guy you had on most? T-Kid? Is that him?
Yes. So T-Kid it's a good friend of mine. He was on when we first started the show. So he was maybe like the fourth or fifth. And since then, he just grown exponential. It's just been amazing growth from him. Everything from getting signed to getting this to getting that on K-Day, all that stuff. And we kept that relationship together. And now he came back for his second project. And he is an amazing artist. And again, I'm a fan of him, and I happen to be his friend. So,
and I noticed that you picked up a new sponsor. Some hip hop clothing company with 2 F's in it.
Yeah,
what is
Freedom
it?
Felons. So, Freedom Felons is our second. We've had numerous sponsors on the show, right? But we're developing a new form of sponsorship where they actually get like a verbal spot on the show. We feel comfortable offering them that because before, admittedly, I didn't think that they would be kind of gouging them if we go, okay, we want this amount of money, but really we only have like this amount of listeners. It'd be kind of wrong. But now we have the listeners now where I'm comfortable to be like, you will see results. You will see results if you line up with us. So now we have sponsors coming on board. Freedom Felon is one of them. Distorted Truth, where we do our show out of, is the second one. They've been on since maybe 7 months ago, and since then the show has just blown up.
Hear that, Funkhauser? They have sponsors. We don't have sponsors. I'm not even joking.
I'll make some calls.
Thank you very much. What you got to do? Like, did you make a note of the sponsors that he has on his show?
You want me to call his sponsors?
No, you don't want to call his
sponsors. You don't do that.
Yeah, call his
They're locked
sponsors
down
and be
on
like,
contracts.
call
Just
sponsors
kidding.
and be like, call sponsors and be like,
Hey, concept's not that important, man. Come on.
I
heart, baby. I heart.
Like, yeah. Use our code. Anyways, it's very impressive. And if you haven't taken a listen to it yet, please give Wake the Flock Up a listen. Whether you're familiar with the artist or not, it's just, it's a fantastic and interesting conversation every single time I get an opportunity to check it out. Concept 714, Wake the Flock Up. He is in le building, as the French would say.
Le building?
In le building. French people are really effing into hip-hop. Have you ever heard French people rap?
Absolutely. Europe is got to be one of the strongest market for hip-hop now. Like, in America, saturated, overplayed. But in Europe, because they don't have it as hard around, they love it. That's where you go to sell your merch. That's where you want to go on tour because they don't have access to, to certain brands. So when they get it up there, they just cop it all up. So they all love it. Yeah. Wake the Flock Up, the European version. Look out for that coming soon.
.co.uk.
.co.uk. Yeah. Do you have you ever heard of? And this is one of these bands that or one of these groups rather. Like I came across them a little while ago. I heard their music in the background of a viral video of someone playing soccer, like doing all these fancy tricks with balls, so to speak. And I was like, this music kicks ass. Who is it? And then I Shazammed it, and it was this band. And I was like, man, they make my favorite type of music. They make hip hop music that sounds like it came out in 1993. And doing some research on them, I was like, oh, the reason they make hip-hop that sounds like they're from 1993 is because they've been going since 93. They're still going today. And I was like, this is exactly my shtick. They've been signed and they've been dropped and they've been around for a long time. How have I never heard of these guys? Have you ever heard of a band called Ugly Duckling?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so
yes,
no
yes,
one else
absolutely.
has heard of them, and I got my I came across their music and I've been listening to them ever since. But they will tell you that England's a really good place to go tour as a hip hop artist. England is the size of New York State.
Right.
It's not a big place, but there's lots of little cities, and you can go do a show in each one of them. So like it's a tiny place, but like if you come to